Alrighty, so we'll get started. Feel free to close your eyes if you just want to listen to the intro with the eyes closed, or you can watch me speak if you'd like. But today I'd like to share a little story with you, and hopefully it can draw some sort of parallel to our meditation practice together. But back when I was in middle school, I was in an art class in school, and we were given the assignment. We had all these different kind of like skulls of animals listed out in front of us, and we had to sketch it. And we were all kind of struggling, I remember, and the teacher was walking by kind of checking on the students, looking at what we were doing, and I remember looking at the skull and like, how am I going to translate this 3D object to this piece of paper? And as he walked by, he said this quote that I still remember to this day. And he said, "Draw what you see, not what you think you see." So I'll say that again. Draw what you see, not what you think you see. And that always kind of stuck with me because it was the first time that I kind of got a taste of like there could be something more to the mind than just what kind of is at the surface. And especially once I dove into yoga and meditation, that quote eventually spoke or had more weight to it as it began to make more sense to me. So when we begin to take a journey into meditation or yoga or even introspection within the self, and I'm speaking from my own experience, begin to realize that there's almost this veil or this lens that there's maybe an object or a situation or something in front of you. And then there's this lens of our personality, of the mind, everything that we've been through in life kind of congregated into all these associations. And then there's us. So draw what you see, not what you think you see. The specific word there is what you think. So when we begin to meditate, we almost begin to shine a light on that thinking part, that self of us that maybe fogs the lens of what we see between the internal self and the outside world. So maybe you take a moment to reflect upon that as to how maybe when you look out into the world, maybe if there's a situation in your life right now that's causing negative emotions, stress, whatever it is, but how is maybe what's in front of you potentially different than what you're making it out to be within? So again, we can just see an object, see a situation for what it is through the loving lens or the lens of truth. Or we can put ourselves, that mind stuff, in between the two, and it can make situations or things different than what they really are posed to be. So maybe take a moment or two to reflect upon that. And as we begin to jump into our Shamatha technique, this can be really easily, or not easily, but greatly applied in the sense that while we're here watching the mind, rather than trying to shut it down and create silence, we're watching the mind, we can start to get a little bit of a view of that thinking self. We can start to notice those thoughts that our mind goes to when it's left to its own vices. And it's when we become aware of the mind, that thinking self, we can start to navigate our lives from a different position and truly decide and realize those thoughts, those patterns that serve our highest selves, and maybe those that don't serve us, those that are detrimental, those that cause negative feelings and stress within the mind and the body. So again, we're here to play the role as a witness. Allow the mind to think and simply anchor yourself in the breath when we begin to apply the meditation technique. All right, long-winded intro there, but we'll get started. So let's find a comfortable seat. If you're in a chair, knees directly above the ankles. If you're sitting on the ground, legs just gently crossed in front of you. Palms will rest face down on the thighs or just above the knees. And I will start our timer for us, and then as you're sitting here, find somewhere to look in front of you about 3 to 6 feet. So you're looking down, eyes are about halfway open. And gently begin to bring your awareness in towards the body. Allow your legs to relax down towards the ground. Soften your hips and sits bones down. Just allow the weight to fall heavy from the base of your body to the support of the ground beneath you. Begin to lift up, stacking every vertebra one on top of another until you're sitting up nice and tall with the shoulders directly stacked over the hips. The back is strong, keeping your body supported. Allow the shoulders to relax down the back body as you soften the arms and the hands rest effortlessly on the legs. Soften your chest. Allow the space around the heart to open. Relax your belly. Allow the belly to puff out. Resist any pulling or holding of the belly in towards the body. Continue to lift up evenly through the neck, so much so that the chin's parallel with the ground beneath you, and the crown of the head reaches up towards the ceiling. The head is light and lifted. Relax the crown of the head, the forehead, soften your eyes. Allow the visual field in front of you to simply enter through the eyes. Rather than trying to see, just let the field in. Relax the cheeks, the jaw, soften the lips, the teeth, and the tongue. And begin to connect with the feeling of your breath. Notice where you feel the breath most prominently in your body today. Maybe it's in the nose, the nostrils, the back of the throat, the chest, or the belly. Maybe it's somewhere else, like along the back body. Maybe it's in multiple places or just one. Notice where you feel every inhale and exhale. Let yourself feel the breath. Feeling the breath is our anchor to here and now. Allow yourself to feel every inhale and exhale. And over time, just as a ship that is anchored to the bottom of the ocean, it will gently sway back and forth or take different directions as waves push it in different ways. However, it can always come back to the anchor at the bottom. So the ship is just like the thoughts in the mind. The mind may be taken different ways, and that is okay. The mind's job is to think, and we're here to notice it. If thoughts bubble up, just kind of sway you side to side, but you still feel the breath. Stay with the anchor. Then we're just going to let those be. However, if thoughts take you totally away, maybe that anchor comes out of the ground and you totally forget about feeling the breath. With those thoughts, we're simply going to label them thinking and come back to the task of feeling the breath. There is no good or bad practice, right or wrong, so please find compassion for yourself and your practice. We're here to learn about ourselves, to understand where the mind goes when it's left to its own vices. So find your way to every inhale and exhale, feeling the full extent of the breath. And whenever the mind takes you totally away from the breath, Gently find your way back. Take the next couple of moments to practice this technique, and we'll meet up in a little bit. Gently draw your practice to a close. Maybe you close the eyes, give yourself a little shimmy of the body. And we'll meet up with the palms touching at heart center and eyes gently closed. Take a moment to simply reflect upon your practice. Were there any thoughts or themes? Anything stand out to you from the workings of the mind this evening? Just notice, observe. It's okay if there's nothing that comes up for you. And gently bring your awareness to your mind and notice how it feels. Notice the texture, the quality, the energy of the mind. Draw your awareness to the body, check in, become aware of how it feels. And tune into your emotional state of being. What emotion do you feel right in this moment? Gently give yourself a smile and truly thank yourself for showing up here today, for dedicating your time to cultivating greater knowledge and insight of the true self, of the you within, and allowing yourself to open the heart just a little bit bigger. And thank you very much for sharing your beautiful practice and energy with me and everybody else who joined in. The light in me truly honors the light in you. Namaste.